Hi, it's Chris, once again with another daily dose from Living the Inner Life. And we are living the indoor life. It is Saturday, April 18th, I think. I'm kind of losing track of the days. But the good thing is I'm back here every day with you. I guess it's good for me. Let me know if it's good for you too. Now, from what I understand, there's a lot of you out there who are bored right now. That this is getting tedious. It's getting frustrating. We want to get back out in the world and back to our lives, and we are bored. So, guess what the word is for today? Boredom. Welcome. Yes, I'm glad you're here. Now, you're not bored right now because you've got me with you. So, can't be bored when you've got Chris on your side, right? But then what do? Watch Netflix, you binge watch, you can only mow the lawn so many days a week. There's only so much you can do to be entertained because the sports aren't happening, the activities, can't go to the gym. There's a lot we can't do right now. A lot of these things that we're used to doing, and we're actually used to being busy, okay? Like too busy to have leisure time. And now we seem to have a lot of leisure time and not enough things to do, or at least not enough things or the types of things that keep our interest, okay? So there is this sense of boredom and frustration, and if you're bored right now, pause for a moment and be glad, be happy, be grateful that you're bored, right? Because if your roof were leaking, if the plumbing didn't work, if there were some sickness you're dealing with, or some other disaster, some imminent problem that's consuming every minute of your day, you would not be bored, okay? So, good news about boredom. First of all, you're not overly burdened with a lot of stuff to do, okay? Maybe a lot of negative stuff. So maybe there isn't enough of the good things or the interesting things. But we're starting to find that some of these things that were amusing us and entertaining us, maybe were just kind of distractions anyway, I know we work, under normal conditions, we'll work all week, work all day, have a commute, errands to run, things to do, and by the time we get some leisure time in our day, we don't really want to do anything. We just want some mindless entertainment or to be taken away on a story with a movie or a show. And that's great, okay? There's a real purpose for all that. But since we're not being overly active, these distractions, these what used to be our leisure time activities, aren't really cutting it, okay? So maybe we need a redefinition of what it is to have leisure time and how we spend that. Okay, so we have a lot of pent-up energy, perhaps, energy that's not being used. I know there's kids in the neighborhood that aren't going to the playground or school and, they're bouncing off walls. And there's a lot of grown-ups that are bouncing off walls too, frustrated with this boredom. So what do? What's the cure for boredom? Okay, well, if boredom is a lack of interest, okay, then what are you interested in? Maybe we haven't really had the chance to cultivate some of these hobbies or meaningful activities, leisure activities, things you can kind of only really do when you have a little bit of extra time, because we've been too busy. And we don't have them in place now that we have this pause and some gaps of time that aren't really being fulfilled in a decent way. So, what if you don't have a hobby? What if you don't play an instrument? What if you don't like to read books? Well, then find something. Find something you like. Find something that interests you. Okay, but don't go to the traditional sources or the ones that you were used to. And don't think about what you can't do. Okay? Well, I love baseball, and that's how I use my leisure time activity. Well, great, but there's no baseball right now, so you're not going to drink from that well. Now, you could contribute to that. Maybe you could start writing about what baseball means to you. Okay, maybe you can share that joy with others. Whatever it is that you don't have as an interest, as a hobby, as a passion, then make that your passion, the quest for a passion, for a purpose, for a meaningful, very interesting, very engaging hobby. Okay? Make that your hobby. Make the goal of finding out your goal your goal. Okay? All right? And you've got a little extra time to do that. So where do you look? Well, I think if you get quiet and perhaps look back on times when you were younger, perhaps in childhood, maybe something that you put away because you grow up, you go to college, you get married, you have kids, you get divorced, you do a bunch of stuff, and you've put that thing away for so long, maybe you've kind of forgotten about it, or you just haven't had it active in your life. So go back and reactivate it. And what was that thing you always wanted to do? But you never, I just don't have time for that, or that's for kids or something. Nah, go back. Find that childhood passion. Just make sure it's something you can kind of do by yourself and doesn't require a lot of external activity or interaction, and make sure that you're going to be able to fulfill this hobby using stuff you can buy online or stores that are open. Okay, so I think a lot of construction and hardware stores are open. Cooking, recipes, there's another thing. This is a chance to try things, but I think some of those muscles, if you want to look at it like that, have just been atrophied from lack of use, So wake them up, all right? I honestly believe that everybody has something within them. Maybe they've forgotten about, maybe they never really took seriously or never had the time to do. And now's the time to break them out. So, let me know what you're finding to help ease the boredom in your life, if you even have it. Some of us are really busy right now, and we also don't have time to be bored. But I have had some extra time, and one of the things that I chose to spend my time with and doing is talking to you, being here. So I found myself with no excuses now. I couldn't put it off. And that can happen sometimes, though. Sometimes there's a resistance. We might know what we want to try, but there's fear or resistance or just not enough vital energy being used to catalyze these things and power them up and get them going. All right? Actually, this is a chance to fail. Try something and fail miserably. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? Nothing. Okay, that sucked. I wasn't very good at that. Either go back and try it again and try to get good at it, or try something else. Okay, you can do that. I am giving you permission to fail. Go ahead. I might be failing doing these silly videos every day. I don't know. Maybe some people like them. I like doing them, so I guess that's not really a failure. I think it would be a bigger failure if I didn't. So, thank you for being here and allowing me, providing me with something that will relieve my boredom. And I am very interested in doing this every day, coming up with a topic, thinking of what I want to say, and turning on the camera and just talking. Sometimes I don't know what I'm going to say, kind of like today. But thank you for sharing this time for me. And don't be bored. Find something to do, something you enjoy. Maybe something you've never done before. You might be surprised. All right, see you tomorrow.